Look at how cool my shirt is. Except it has this sticky stuff on it and I really don't know how to get it off. I don't even know what it's from because I don't remember there being a sticker on the shirt when I got it. So I don't know how it got there. My sister got this off of Etsy. I have no idea what she searched to find it. Probably like Dunkin' Donuts, Halloween, I don't know. But I think this is officially my favorite Halloween type shirt that I own. But hey y'all, I'm out of breath. I'm so out of breath. I don't know why. But I am back and today is actually the finale to the Ouija board book that we have been reading and I'm very sad because I loved reading from this book. I'm gonna have to see if I can find another Ouija board type book because these are some of my favorite stories to read. Like I hate the idea of using a Ouija board and I hate when you guys use them, but I love reading about Ouija board stories. I love it. Also, if you see my legs at any point, I do have pants on. It kind of looks like I don't have pants on, but I do indeed have pants on. I got these at Target and they're like kind of like leggings, but they're flared at the bottom and they're not really like leggings. I don't really know what they are, but they're very cute, but they're a little too short on me, which sucks. I'm tall, so everything's short on me, which is annoying. I also bought these black like flared bootcut kind of jeans from Target and I was so excited to wear them and they were too short. But I wore them anyways, so whatever. But I'm gonna get into the stories. The final chapter that we are on is called Releasing the Demons. And the first story says, curiosity can kill you. Sam got his first Ouija board when he was 13. He was fascinated with the idea of communicating with spirits. Maybe there was something special about Sam because he was able to use the Ouija board all alone. His very first time, he contacted a ghost named Daniel. He was very friendly and easy to talk to. Sam would chat with him for hours at a time. Daniel had died long ago and told Sam that he had a brother named Charles, but Charles wasn't like him. Daniel said he was mean and liked to get into trouble. He was also close by. Sam would talk to Daniel every day after school. Contacting him was so easy. He would just put his fingers on the planchette and instantly Daniel would be there. But after each session, Sam would feel completely exhausted. He didn't realize it at the time, but his energy was being drained into the Ouija board. One day, Sam came home and got out his Ouija board. "Is Daniel there?" he asked. "No," was the reply. Sam was taken aback by this. Daniel was always there. Then suddenly, he had a realization. "Is this Charles speaking to me?" The planchette moved to yes. Sam decided to talk to Charles for a bit, but proceeded with caution. As he communicated with him more, he realized that Charles wasn't as bad as Daniel had made him out to be. Maybe he had gotten a good side, Sam thought. Before long, Sam and Charles had developed a deep friendship. Now he was spending more time talking to Charles than to Daniel. Ever curious about ways to communicate with spirits, one day Sam had an idea. If it was so easy to communicate with spirits by Ouija, what about by writing? He didn't know it at the time, but this method was called automatic writing. Sam took a paper and pen, poised his hand, and attempted to call on the spirits. After only a few short seconds, his hand started to move on its own accord. Spirits could write through him. With this new ability, Sam felt closer to the spirits than ever. He spent more and more time communicating through automatic writing. It was so much easier than a Ouija board. But as his connection with the spirits grew stronger, their messages became more sinister. Both Daniel and Charles spent a lot more time talking about death. The conversation often turned to the idea of Sam's death. Sam was finally feeling scared, but also curious about the energy that was being drained from him every time he contacted the spirits. What else was transferring through this connection besides energy? One time, when he was angry because Charles kept talking about death, Sam decided to forcefully think of a random word while the spirit was writing. Surprisingly, that was the word that Charles wrote out. Sam thought it was funny that he could exert some control over a spirit like that, but it also meant the spirit had access to his inner thoughts and they were connected. Still, Sam kept trying to throw them off with these interjections. It only made them angry. More and more, the spirits were telling Sam that he should kill himself. Sam couldn't help but continue to explore his rare spiritual connection, but eventually he became fed up with the spirits constantly trying to convince him to take his own life. His mind made up, he took his Ouija board outside, broke it, and threw it away. He vowed to never try automatic writing again. And so, the spirits fell silent. At the young age of 13, Sam learned a valuable lesson about contacting the beyond. Someone may befriend you and gain your trust, but if they steal your strength and try to influence you, they must be evil deep down. Not all spirits are spirits, some are something more sinister. The most important lesson of all, too much curiosity just might kill you. Okay, I don't have the best memory of the things that we spoke to T about, but I do think I remember T telling us that one of the spirits that we had spoken to was bad, or that maybe she just didn't like him. I don't really remember. That reminds me of that story a little bit, because there was another spirit that would try to contact us and they were stronger than T. I'm trying to remember, so I'm like looking off to the side because I'm like trying to remember, but I don't really remember that well. It was so long ago. But I remember T telling us that one of the spirits in our house or in the area that we were in was bad and not to talk to them, but when we eventually talked to them because we were stupid, they turned out not to be so bad. That just reminded me a lot of that. They weren't telling us like kill ourselves or anything like that. My experiences were never anything like absolutely insane. Like we never really spoke about death other than talking about the way that she died or the way that the rest of them died. I don't really know. I don't know. That was a lot different than my experience. If they ever told me to I would end it right there. Just like Sam did. Or was his name Sam? I think his name was Sam. Sorry if my nose is red. I keep sneezing and it's really itchy. I keep itching my nose really bad. So if it's red, sorry. But this next story says, Portal. One night in college, John invited 4 friends, Liam, Chris, Jack, and Paul, over to his apartment. The usual agenda was to drink and get into trouble. But this time, they decided to change things up. They decided to have a seance. At about 10:30 p.m., the group decided that John would be the medium since he was the host of the party. John brought out a Ouija board and they improvised with a large whiskey glass for a planchette. Keeping true to what they thought a seance should look like, they turned off the lights and lit candles around the living room. Liam was surprised to see how serious his 4 goof-off friends were about the seance. Everyone gathered around the board, for once completely serious. John said to the whiskey glass, "If there's any spirit or presence in this apartment, please move the glass." All were surprised to see the glass move immediately. They glanced around at each other before returning to the board. "Would you be able to spell your name for us, please?" asked John. The glass moved. "Certainly." "What is your name?" Ilkerl. Ilkerl, it's spelled? "Ilkerl," said Liam. "What kind of name is that?" "Isn't it obvious?" said Paul. "It's an anagram for killer." The guys cast around more nervous glances. "Should we continue?" asked Jack. "Maybe," said Chris. A discussion ensued, and the guys determined exactly how they should deal with the spirit. As long as they followed the right procedure and ended the session with a prayer, then they'd be okay. They read on the internet that if the spirit mentions a portal, they should close the session immediately. Portals were how demons enter the human world. They all agreed to proceed cautiously and not provoke the spirit. They returned to the board. "If Ilkerl is still here, could you please make a sign?" asked John. "Ouch," yelled Chris. "What is it?" said Jack. Chris had his hand on his right cheek. "I just felt someone hit me." Fear and foreboding spread throughout the room. "Why did you hit Chris?" asked John. "I don't like him." "Why?" "He is a twat," the spirit replied. Took me a second to actually read that, but he's a twat. Chris laughed it off. Maybe it was a joke. "Are you a ghost?" asked John. The glass moved to no. "Then what are you?" The glass moved. El Penumbra? El Penumbra. Suddenly the room became ice cold. The guys didn't need to ask each other what El Penumbra meant in English. They all knew. Demon. "Are you a demon?" asked John. The glass moved to yes. Then, "Now die." Somehow the room managed to go even colder. "Oh my God," said Paul. The others looked up to see blood trickling out of John's mouth. All 5 of the young men's faces filled with fear. Transfixed on John's face, it took a while for them to notice the glass in their hands, which were flying around the board. Portal, 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 portal. Their fears were confirmed. The demon was trying to enter their world. All 5 guys struggled to push the glass to goodbye. The demon resisted them, but they managed it. When they let go of the glass, it fell to the floor. The group recited, "Our Father," and ended the prayer with, "In Jesus' name, Amen." They all rushed to turn on the lights and blow out the candles. John brought everyone a beer and they tried to joke off the encounter. Still, no one felt they should leave John alone that night. So, Liam, Chris, Jack, and Paul all decided to sleep over. They managed to drink themselves to sleep. Liam had a terrible nightmare. He found himself in a large room in the middle of a circle of light. He couldn't see where he was because the room was billowing with a dark, smoky mist. He could hear high-pitched whispering in the shadows. Slowly, the whispers became louder. They became voices. Liam could finally make out what they were saying. "We're going to get you," over and over. Then the voices became screams. "We're going to get you." Suddenly, hundreds of arms started appearing throughout the mist. Liam was paralyzed, unable to move. They were corpse-like, with talons on their hands. Liam couldn't see who the arms belonged to, but he knew that the corpses were the embodiment of Ilkerl. The gray mist started to creep into Liam's circle of light. With it came the dead arms. Liam had no way to escape the nightmare. He tried to scream, but it only came out as a soundless cough. The mist was surrounding him, the arms grabbing him. Suddenly Liam woke up and found himself back in John's apartment. 4 other frightened-looking faces were staring around the room. When Liam spoke to Chris, John, Jack, and Paul about his nightmare, they discovered that all 5 of them had had the exact same dream. You're joking. Like, okay, like I hate my life. Okay, and I'm so sad to say this is the final story, and it says N-O-M-D-E? Nomde? I don't know. N-O-M-D-E. One Tuesday evening, Amber was watching TV in her mom's living room. Daniel, her 5-year-old brother, was falling asleep on her lap. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Amber gently pushed Daniel off and went to answer the door. To her surprise, it was her best friend, Dee. "Look at my new board game," said Dee, holding up a Ouija board. "Cool, let's play," said Amber, welcoming her in. They set up the board in the living room and lit candles. Their fingers had barely touched the planchette when it moved to spell hello. "That's weird," said Dee. "Usually takes a while to respond." "Creepy," said Amber. "How many people are in this building right now?" she asked the board. The planchette moved to 6. "That can't be right," said Dee. "It's only me, you, Daniel, your mom, and the spirit here." The girls stared at each other. Just then, Amber's mom came into the room and greeted the girls. When she saw the board, her expression changed. "What on earth are you doing playing with that?" she yelled. "It's not mine, it's Dee's." "Don't play, it's dangerous," her mom said, then walked into the kitchen. Amber and Dee looked at each other and both shrugged. "What is your name?" Dee asked the spirit. "N-O-M-D-E, the spirit spelled. Amber's face went white. "That spells demon if you unscramble it." How did I think? Okay, because I didn't catch on to that. How did they catch on to that so fast? Same with the other one. Like, Icarol, how did they know it spelled killer? Like, I don't know how they... I don't know. The girls kept trying to communicate with the spirit, but now it had nothing but insults to throw at them. "You bitches, go die," it spelled. Both girls screamed, waking up Daniel, who was still asleep on the couch. He screamed too, so Amber ran to him. "The bad man tried to kill you in my dream, Amby," he said. Shivers went down Amber's spine. "Don't worry, I'm fine," she said. Amber took Daniel over to the board and sat him down. He wanted to ask a question. "Where are you now, ghost?" The planchette moved. "In the kitchen with your mother." All 3 of them jumped up and ran into the kitchen where Amber's mom was smoking a joint. "What are you kids up?" "Mom, the demon's gonna kill you." She shook her head. "Don't worry, that won't happen." Just then, Amber felt something grab her hair and pull. She felt herself being pulled across the room, unable to stop the searing pain on her scalp. Dee also looked like she was being dragged around by her head. Amber's mom couldn't believe her eyes. She grabbed Daniel, got some blankets, and pulled the girls out of the house. They ran to Uncle Toby's house. The family stayed overnight there. The next morning, Uncle Toby went out to check the other house. It was completely trashed. Everything of value was broken, but nothing was missing. No one had broken in. Knowing what to do, Toby took the Ouija board and burned it. The family returned to their house and picked up the pieces. Things seemed normal for a while, but Amber began to notice things weren't quite right. Daniel began seeing shadows around the house and started talking about a new imaginary friend he had. He said the imaginary friend was hurting him. Sometimes Amber could feel someone touching her in the night. A demon can do a lot of damage to a house after one night with a Ouija board. It becomes far worse when the sinister creature chooses to linger. I'm so sad. I don't want this book to be over. Okay, I had to stop recording because my brother's air conditioning came on and I forgot how loud it is because I forgot to turn it off before I started filming. So I don't know what I was saying. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm gonna end the video. I don't even know if I commented on the last story that I read. I think I just said I was sad that it was over, but I really don't remember what I was saying. It was like 5 minutes ago. And this bitch has no memory. I barely remember what the last story was about, if I'm honest with you. Oh, it was about the 2 girls who played with the Ouija board and then her brother was like, "The demon's killing you in my dream." Okay, yeah, I remember now. I feel like if you use a Ouija board and then you're shocked that shit goes down after the fact, you're just crazy. Like, obviously something's gonna happen. Like, I don't know, I feel like something is bound to happen. You're literally inviting spirits into your home. So, I don't know. But that is going to be the end. Again, I'm so sad that this book is done. I think this was my favorite book that I've ever read from. And so I'll have to see if I can find more Ouija board stories, maybe from a different author. I also wanted to say, I know I've been really bad at uploading lately, like really, really bad. I only had 1 video last week. I don't even think I uploaded the week before. This is my only video for this week because I'm going to Disneyland this week. So I just don't really have time to film and edit another video before I leave because John's mom comes into town on Wednesday because she's watching her dogs. Well, John's gonna stay home. John's not going to Disneyland, but he works Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and I'm gone those days, and so his mom is coming in so she can watch the dogs while he's at work because she's amazing. And then I don't get home until Tuesday night, so I'm only gonna have 1 video next week as well. I'm sorry, I'm doing so bad this month, and it sucks because it's October. Oh my god, this is supposed to be my month. This is my month to shine, but I'm doing really bad. But I should have 2 videos a week after that. The last week of Halloween. I should have 2 videos the final week of October. I need to have 2 videos. So I'm sorry I've been really bad uploading lately. I've had a million different things going on. Like last week, for example, sorry, I'm gonna ramble, but it's the end of the video, so if you don't care, people have already clicked off at this point. Like last week, I procrastinated on Monday, and so then I ended up filming a video on Tuesday, and then, or no, I think I procrastinated Monday and Tuesday because that's just how I am. Because I'm always like, I don't have to like film on a Monday or a Tuesday. I have plenty of time if I film on like a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Friday. And so I procrastinated and I filmed a video Wednesday, I edited it Thursday, and then Friday came around and I went to Strawberry this last weekend. It was for Brittany and Stephanie's birthday, my friend and my sister's birthday. And so I left on Saturday for that, but I had to take John's car because I had to take the puppies to John's coworker's house because they were watching them while I was gone because John was also gone. And so I had to take John's car, which is the bigger car, so I could fit their crate in it. I know this doesn't matter. This is like not important details at all. But the car had a flat, and so I had to take it in on Friday to get the flat fixed, so I didn't have time to film or edit on Friday. Because my plan was to film this video on Friday. It's a shorter video, so I was going to film and edit it all on Friday and then upload it for Sunday. But I couldn't do that because I had to get the car fixed so that I could take it on Saturday and not die. So I only had that's why I only had one video last week. But I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go because I'm rambling about stupid shit. But I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye. But now I gotta ramble about more things right here because that's what I do. But I don't think I have anything else to say. I went to Strawberry, like I said, and we went to a lavender farm on Sunday, and I was like, I didn't know I was allergic to lavender, and I still don't really know if I am, but I could not stop sneezing. It was so bad. And there was this like random man there who was like, not really doing well with the lavender, huh? And I was like, no. Like, I was like, don't talk to me, I'm embarrassed. But I got a cute picture, so that's all that really matters. Except in the picture, I look a little dead in the eyes. But I feel like I always look dead in the eyes because there's not a single thought in this head. That was it. I went to Strawberry. It was very cute, but oh my god. We got stuck in traffic on the way there. It's only like an hour and 45-minute drive from where I live. And so we got stuck, dead stopped for 2 hours, maybe a little bit over 2 hours, because there was a semi-truck on fire, like not even a mile ahead of us. Like we were like one of the first people to be stopped. And oh my god, it was over 2 hours. So I can't imagine how long this shit was backed up. Can you imagine being at the end of that? Oh my god, no. We were at the very front of it, so we like, once we started going, we were like good to go. And then on the way home, it took us almost 3 hours because there was so much traffic. Because it's Arizona and it's like still kind of hot outside, so everybody goes up north for the weekends. And so everybody comes back on Sundays, obviously, because people have to go to work on Monday. And so on our way back, we had to go a completely different direction because the direction that we originally went up, which was like a little bit shorter, was like over 3 hours coming home. And so we had to take a different way, which ended up being 3 hours like anyways because the traffic was so bad. So it was like we spent more time in the car than I think we actually did on the trip, the little 24-hour trip that we had. It wasn't even 24 hours. It was like 12. But yeah, that was my weekend. It was a lot of fun though. Like I had a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. But I feel like we were in the car more than we were actually doing things in Strawberry. But now I'm gonna go because I'm gonna go shower because I haven't washed my hair in a very long time. So I'm gonna go do that. Okay. See ya.